Okay, how did you get into guitar?
How I got into improv. The story about how I got into improv.
Hi, Noah. You tell him hi?
Oh yeah, dude. I was thinking about what you said the other day about my painting. Something occurred to me, and I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep.
I haven't thought of you since.
You're right. Yeah, I know.
Got the Gibson.
You haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
Oh, this is a while ago. I don't even remember.
13?
Maybe.
14, no.
You might be more accurate.
It's okay. You've never been out of Boston, right? So if I asked you about art, give me the skinny on every art book ever written. But you can't. You've never. Damn it, Bobby.
It's the father. I think it's the dad barking.
This place has changed a bit.
How did you get good at guitar? Practice.
Do you think you've always wanted to be a guitarist?
Your daughter's age. My uncle had a guitar. He would play it for me, and like you're a little kid, and you notice that there's this thing going on. You're a little kid. You can't do this yet, but you're like.
Making the beat.
I would play the harmonica, you know, like not play it, blow it, right? At family gatherings, because we're Catholic. We would do little services at home and pray the rosary, and then eat lunch and then sing songs. Like
Where's this at?
this was at Auntie's house, at our house, at my uncle's house, which was my grandpa's house. They do all the feast days. This happened every, Christmas too, Thanksgiving. And he shall raise you up on eagle's wing. 3rd grade in elementary school, you could join the chorus, and I was like, oh my God, I want to sing. This, weird little like kid biases and prejudices. I only thought women sung. Yeah, and then so I remember Kat Senna, who was our music teacher. Men can sing too, and I like, dude, in my mind, like right now, I'm like, whoa, like that blew my, like that was like, oh, like so I can join the chorus and I can sing the songs and stuff.
I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I said goodbye to San Francisco, where I was born and proudly raised. I got the little lunchbox.
Oh.
Then I got my 10-inch speaker. At the same time, they're introducing instruments to you, so like kids want to play violin, etc. And then it was the flute. I remember hearing the flute. It was so flighty. The agility is like gnarly. You like bring home I went to Alamo. You bring home the sheet, and my mom was like, she knew Miss Gomez because my brothers had been through that system, both of them.
Oh, at Presidio.
At Presidio. If you want to learn music, you should take piano first. And like, you're like, you fight it. I can't believe I fought it so hard. In 3rd to 5th grade, I took piano twice a week. Practiced every night, Furlise, Mozart, Chopin.
Wait, 3rd to 5th grade?
Yeah.
Dude.
Of course they're like,
Dude.
they're not the full piece. No.
Yeah.
They're
No,
in
but I
C,
mean.
they're in G.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be two, you're in the other way. You go into F.
But it's the intervals. Yeah.
A full thing is a whole note, corner, of these things, just teaching you the theory, reading me books about Beethoven and who they were, getting that rock stardom fascination that I have now.
Beethoven.
Yeah, like
Beethoven.
Root and the relative minor. It's like the most classic. Everyone has heard that before. Picture books with like Washington-esque, like Washington crossing the Delaware. Like epic paintings.
Yeah. Music class paintings.
Yeah.
The ones they line the walls up with like, it's all like, with the hair.
Yeah, like
and the eyes.
with the hair, dude.
Yeah, with the hair.
Rock star hair.
Here it is. And you got new strings too.
Oh, what?
Gibson
Look
strings.
at this thing.
Let's see. So you got some things in here.
Man, what's the story behind this exactly? Just give me the skinny.
I saw it on Guitar Center website. It was a good deal. I wanted it and I got it. It was like $600, $650-ish.
For a Gibbs Studio.
Yeah, it had EMGs on it. Good guitar, and I changed out the pick guard.
Pick guard.
So I made
Did it come with a pick guard?
Yeah, it came with a pick guard. It was
You
a little
still
broken.
have the pick guard?
I have it. It's a little cracked. You can fix it. But
Dude, I like this wood one. I have a wood one too. I made a wood one for mine.
Yeah, cut it out. It may have been from the same material you had.
Dude, I might have
given
given
it to
I
me.
might have given it to you.
Yeah.
Come with the dog.
Oh, thinking the other day, just said about my painting. Stayed up all night thinking about it. Thought of something occurred to me and I fell asleep. Deep, peaceful sleep.
I haven't thought of you since.
Haven't thought of you since. And then see, 5th grade. So 5th grade ended. You get in middle school. I'm a cool kid now. I skateboard. You know, I don't rollerblade. I don't want to play the piano. I want to play guitar. I also had another friend around that time who is a professional musician now, who was taking guitar lessons and reading music, and he was like playing Metallica, and that.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
That's the modern day Beethoven.
Yeah, you're playing what like pros play, bro.
And it sounds like it. Like
yeah,
I can try to sound like that. The bit like yeah. Back to Germ with the ovation.
And you play guitar?
I do.
And like at that time, his parents and my parents we were going camping and stuff, so he'd bring that ovation. Skateboarding, dude. We were skateboarding. Want to go skate? Where do you skate? I live out in the Pertera Hill. I go to this one school to skate. You know
Webster.
the one? Yeah. But like, show me, where do you go? Oh, Wash is hella tight. Argonne's hella tight. Tore my ACL skateboarding at Lowell. And just prior, I worked at JCYC, you know, the Japanese community. And so I bought an Xbox for approximately $300. My older brother Brian had a Yamaha guitar, electric guitar, to play Kurt Cobain's.
Yeah.
And so that was the guitar I had. And then I tore my knee up, got the Xbox, healed, right? Didn't play the Xbox, and I was like, I want an electric guitar because it's hella freaking cool. And then also I was playing it. I met Drew in 6th grade. We were skateboarding, went over to his house, played that red Gibson Les Paul Studio, blew my mind because I'm like trying to play Blink-182, you know, like I gotta get a real Yamaha is not a real guitar, even though it's fine. Now I could be like
Yamaha makes amazing guitars.
Instruments,
yeah,
across the board. I saw that Gibson and it just changed. It changed it where you go like I got to get my own. That's not my brother's, you know. So I sold the Xbox at not GameStop,
Electronic
boutique,
EB, bro.
$200. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty good for selling my Xbox. I got my money back essentially. Yeah. And because at that time I was like, I want that Tom DeLonge guitar because I love Blink-182. Tom DeLonge's my guitar hero. Sound like him. Seymour Duncan humbucker, overwound with those like bolts on the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Single humbucker here, single volume knob. It was all black, hella tight, and it was like $200. When I asked, you know, you go to your parents like, I want to get this car. Can we get it? And it's like, you know, like yeah, we can afford it, but we can't just be like flipping 200 bones here. I sold my Xbox, Mom. Here's the $200. Order me that guitar. And it came, you know? And I didn't know at the time that it wasn't grounded. I found that out in the last 8 years. That it wasn't grounded because it was horribly loud and I thought I sucked. I'm not touching the hot coil. I'm touching the ground right now of the cover. And I touch the ground on the switch. Continuous. So if I were to touch the magnet or the copper coil in there, and then touch this, then it would be continuous because this is the hot signal. Everything's grounded to everything around it.
You're fronting me this right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, 350. I think it can help you out. It's a nice looking guitar.
I'm going pro. I'm going pro now.
Yeah, it works good. Should be good. I broke a string a while ago, so it's missing
That's
the E
okay.
string.
As long as everything, all the other 5 is in there, it's gonna be not too bad. Dude, okay, no joke though. I'm gonna do good with this. I can't believe we're gonna
Let me see.
add another Les Paul to the mix. Man,
There you go.
thanks a lot, man.
Mama told me when I was young. Dude,
I love that, dude.
so heavy.
Okay, so you got the Tom DeLonge.
2003, Blink-182 self-titled came out. That was like the apex of the vortex of Blink-182. You know when that happened? Yeah, what I wanted to do was thumping like. I had this shitty drive amp. Have you ever heard of drive?
Yeah.
So shitty. So then I tried the DS1 and stuff, trying to get there, but it's not. If your from the start is not grounded.
It's not your failures that are keeping you uninspired.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't tame it. Yeah. I'm sure now I could
now
tame
you
it.
could do it, right? But
No,
it wasn't doing you any favors.
So then, and you remember, I can't wield this electric guitar shit. I need to go to acoustic route. And you know, because of Pink Floyd, you know, you're hearing the like.
I didn't want an acoustic guitar. I want an electric guitar, right? But then my dad caught me that like half acoustic it's a tiny body.
It's a tester.
It sounds kind of like a banjo, you know. It's like it doesn't really have like sustain.
It also sounds like a
have,
sitar.
Yeah,
too.
it doesn't have body to. Yeah, no, yeah, you know. I had homies that played with acoustic guitar first, and their fingers are just not strong enough to just like learn everything in a very efficient way. But you went the electric route, so you didn't have a muscle problem. It was the way the electronics were set up in the guitar. Make sure you get your kids a quality instrument, whether it is acoustic or electric.
Yeah, that is the thing.
What if I started with an electric guitar like yours that was uninspiring? Like my mom started with a 12-string. Like that's like the worst.
Yeah, don't start with that. If I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. You know a lot about him. In fact, all blues are happy. All blues are the facts. The facts, whether they're good or bad, are the truth. Most people can't understand that. Of course, they've been brainwashed into believing that it's got to be down or it wouldn't be the blues. But it's not so. It's got to be a fact or it wouldn't be blues. See, they ain't gonna be singing about the nutty squirrel or three little pigs and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna say the facts. I just want to make love to you. How many times did you feel like that and not say it? Evil, ignorance, and stupidity are a fact. All these are true facts of life. The reason I put them into the type of songs I put them in is so many people can remember these facts. And when you remember a fact, whether it's good or bad, it gives you encouragement to live a decent life, one way or the other. To judge.
We didn't kick it all of high school. That's why I don't even know when you were doing guitar.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know everybody just had
So like
guitars.
in 8th grade, you would be at Drew's house and you'd be like, play that Blink. You could play Blink-182, play that one Blink-182 thing. So like,
Blink-182 stuff?
I might. What else we got?
That's like one of my favorite
Favorite
Blink-182
ones?
songs though.
Yeah?
It's like the early ones too.
Yeah.
Did you personally progress as a guitarist in high school? Like did you like lose sleep over riffs? Did you like lose sleep over like guitar magazine?
I was doing, yeah, because of where I come from and learning Beethoven, I'm still focused on the masters. Dude, for years, I beat myself up over this.
Dude, that was beautiful, bro.
For so long.
It's hard to wake up.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. And then, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was the first album I ever bought.
That was your first album
I bought.
that you bought.
So my brothers passed down Nirvana, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. All those things got passed down.
You're so lucky.
I didn't get the Blink-182 from them. Like I had to go to Tower Records
that was you.
on Stannion.
Was that Tower?
It
no,
was
it was
Warehouse.
Anthem Part 2, the intro. Quite amazing, that song.
Everything has fallen to pieces. Earth is dying. Help me, Jesus. I love those the broken power chords. It's just an octave. It's an octave.
Yeah. You were skating mostly in high school.
I had 2005, 2006. I got the ACLs because they're like, oh, you're grown. You're probably gonna be your height. You know, like in high school.
Oh,
got the growth spurt.
That's what that is.
You have these growth plates in here that they have to drill into.
Were you playing music with people in high school?
Yeah, I played a little bit with Germ, but they were ahead of me. His friend, music student.
This was MySpace time, so I interacted with people he was playing with.
And he started a band.
Yeah,
so like after,
Crank Up Your Hearing Aid.
I would go see them, and that was when we stopped playing because he was on another level. You know, like when we come to play music, I bring my guitar over to Pachura Hill. Him and Jerry could improvise, and all I could do was just play the same. I couldn't improvise. Like they tried to teach me, like, yo, just like do that, but just like let it loose, you know?
Yeah, just do that. Do everything that is like that, but not exactly that. What you need to start doing is changing phrasing and voicing. Maybe there's some parts that you arpeggiate that.
Right. And then verses.
Single notes, 2 notes, emphasis on 3 with just the top 3 strings, palm muting, and then emphasis on the 3 for... You're already doing it, but like, break it up.
Think about those
Break
things.
it up even.
stay in time. I just couldn't do it.
You had a rhythm issue.
Yeah.
Because when I first played music with Germ, this was before he copped his Ovation. Because I remember when he copped it, the only other Ovation I'd ever played was my boy Theo. His dad had one from like the 70s.
The real Ovation.
Yeah. He has it in a case that still has the recipient from
the case candy.
From Hate Street. The Daddy Ovation. Yeah. Daddy Ovation, bro. Were you playing with other kids at Sacred Heart?
It was still covers, you know? Like,
yeah, okay.
I would learn Raining Blood, because you're like, that's hella sick.
That's hella
That's
tight,
the
bro.
sickest thing I've ever heard. How do I play that?
Yeah.
And you would do Led Zeppelin, not the Forbidden one.
I till this day can't even play.
That
Is
one.
it Black?
Black Dog? Make you sweat, don't make you move. That's hella tight.
The first thing we're gonna do though is get these EMGs out.
It's hard to see what the serial number is because it's pretty painted up.
So what's the first and the fifth number?
07.
So this is a 2007 possibly.
Oh, okay.
Mine
There
is
you go.
2005. Hold that up into the light. Read that off to me. First and the fifth number.
05.
Yeah, first
So
and the
this
fifth
is,
is 05.
Yeah.
I'm right now I have the power for anything.
Yeah.
But what am I gonna have the power to do forever? It's gonna be guitars. Look at this flame, man.
Got an acoustic and started learning, you know, like the rhythm stuff. You know, started learning, and that's when you're like, whoa, Bob Dylan, dude.
Once I heard Bob Dylan, I don't know, man. I started having hopes and dreams.
Dude, the rules changed.
What was it? Times they are a changing.
Yeah.
With the harmonica going
Yeah.
on. Bro, going back to Drew's Act. So we were in Cub Scouts. I never made it to Boy Scouts. Because by the time you were age of Boy Scouts, that was the time my church started Friday night fellowships. Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts would go to these camps every year. We campfires, and his dad
guitar.
would play the guitar and have the hamburger
helper, dude.
The hamburger helper, bro.
I had to get one of those after Bob Dylan.
Right? That's when I found out Drew's dad was like a musician, and I was like, bro, like that's I've never seen that with my own eyes before. I've seen pictures. He found out I play guitar, and he was like, oh, you ever play Gibson? And this is the first time. What's a Gibson? Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Like, I know Mel Gibson. He popped it out and it had the gold hardware on it. This Boss looking instrument.
I didn't know it could be that at that level.
I didn't know like what this is what electric guitar like feels like, bro. Like what? That in my mind was
that's the truth.
Yeah, that's like what it was supposed to be. Propsters class.
Oh.
That was the first time I recorded myself playing guitar, and Chris was like, "Oh, that was sick," and then he was watching it and he was like, "But look at your pinky," and I was like, "I know, dude." And number one comment from all the old heads who were like, "Keep it up, man, keep it up." They're like,
Yeah.
Gotta use that pinky, man. You're not using the pinky, man.
Yeah.
Then when I got iPhones and stuff, way later, after high school, I recorded myself like once a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like cold start. Like this is what I play like first thing in the morning.
Recording.
Major, major, minor, right? But this half step is not full minor, and it's definitely not a major. That's like when I had to go into the deep dive and be like, what is that? What's working itself out right here? Half diminished.
Well, you didn't drop the third as well to make it a minor.
Yeah, and it is definitely not a major because in the sequence, that is not a major. Eugene's Trick Bag is the only solo piece that I knew of at the time where that little face melty section was that's a diminished run. That's when I learned that I knew was stacking those thirds, right? 2 frets in between. I was like, whoa. So you're just stacking all these thirds and then you get this cascading run that never ends. It just keep going. I was learning the vocabulary to describe the things that I was doing.
Observing.
Yeah, that I was observing.
You can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. Look at that big, beautiful ceiling. Haven't you seen that? If I asked you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus, all the ones you've had. May even been late a few times. Before I left home in 2009, I had picked up a Telecaster, the Mexican Telecaster.
Yeah.
Well, what's up with this electric guitar revisiting because the Tom DeLonge thing didn't work out. Went to Guitar Center and you play a Telecaster and then you're like, wow, like that is really clean. All those things start coming together is like they're playing G, C, and D. Okay, so the root is this G here. It starts there, and I can box it here, and then there's a little half step there, you know? And then it's just functionality of, like, I need to keep the groove going, as Wooten says. Like, no matter what, even if you don't know what to play, keep the groove going.
The
you know?
rhythm is paramount. I call him Noel. It's a nothing. This is also nothing. You can do things like. Rhythm breakers.
I started like where you're like jonesing to play music after work every day. I didn't think of that because you don't think you're like good enough, you know? You're like, I'm sitting here playing like 1973 Rod Stewart.
Your mother says that I'm a stranger. My face you'll never see no more. But this one promise, darling, I'll see you on God's golden show.
Writing songs that are like Americana and that what's the Tiger Army, dude? The like outlaw punk. You know what I'm talking about? Like the outlaw
Rockabilly.
Yeah, rockabilly, yeah. Like still tough guy, but then there's like the tough guy has feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's
the tough guy.
There's beautiful imagery, you know? Sometime in 2016, I think, I worked at Ernie Ball and I had started acquiring more instruments. Chinese-made Austin, because I was getting into modding, you know, and just being like, what are these different types of pickups? How do they work? Why am I getting a buzz? Why do these humbuckers not hum? You know, all those things. And just like I picked up a more or less cheap Les Paul style guitar.
Weird ass cut. It's not down the middle. It's just off to the side. They don't even match. You know what I mean?
The white one over there used to be black. I sanded it all the way down to the wood. It's all plywood.
Oh yeah. That Les Paul thing, it led me to seek out a production job in guitar manufacturing. You know, because you're like, whoa, I'm kind of like into this, and I refinished that the Tom DeLonge.
At that time,
I converted into an SRV with Texas Special pickups,
right,
and made it a stain.
SSS.
Yeah, the Les Paul shape was the thing that changed it, dude. At Ernie Ball, you know, I didn't stay there for very long, but I wasn't ready for that like production line. That came later when it was at Fort Point. Yeah, of like banging it out for 8 to 10 hours doing the same task. Yeah, that was still, the bug was already there. It was already there. I was already acquiring.
You were doing projects.
Yeah.
I
was looking up at, I built like a cab. I wasn't ready to build the amp yet. Oh yeah, man. I went to Italy where the Statue of David is. All the stuff is in Florence. And I stumbled upon, it's like the musical instrument museum. And they have all the Stradivarius, everything. Yeah. And they trace it out, like this is the early, like they have all these examples, like the earliest violins, you know, as they get more baller. I saw one of the first pianos, and dude, I'm not even like trying to be dramatic. I fell to my knees and I cried, bro, because it was just like, dude, I'm almost like emotional now about it, because it's like music production is fucking real. It's real, people have been devoting their lives to it for hundreds of years.
It's the human bird call.
Dude.
The bird call.
And you're like seeing this early, it's not a piano forte yet.
Yeah,
but you're like, this is 1649. Like, what?
They had like wheeled with cranking with like, then you play it, and then they had billowing ones,
yeah,
right?
You're a tough kid. If I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, my friends. She never been near one. From 2013 to 2016, well, it was my second run in San Luis Obispo, I was picking up, I picked up a mandolin, I picked up a Deering banjo. I had that dobro. Remember that? I picked that up before I left for San Luis Obispo. I picked up a dobro from 1934. It's a Regal dobro. It's legit. Heirloom collector's aspect was definitely in my mind, and what led me to things like this, where I'm thinking like, well, my grandma thought of me. Yeah, maybe I wasn't born yet, but she thought of me.
They brought the piano in.
Yeah, they brought, and so like I struggled for years with crappy equipment on the guitar, like trying to figure out myself. So like as you get on your working and you have expendable income, you're like, I'm going to get a guitar that's going to outlast me, that's beautiful, and it's going to inspire the next generation to want to, it's going to sound good.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what this is.
No
This
more
is
fighting. No putting up a fight.
Yeah.
I don't want guitars that fight me all the time.
Yeah. Although that's useful. That is useful.
A little bit of fighting.
Like you're supposed final setup guy, get a little isopropyl alcohol. I don't know what guys you use, but clean up that
Oh, whatever.
Plex machine debris.
I found over the years that the best way to fight off fatigue is just by doing. I've run into brick walls, so to speak, creative blocks. But when that happens, I step away from it, have a diversion or two, watch TV or something. But I don't stay away from it very long. Only for about a half hour or so, and then I get right back into it. I find that's a form of creative rejuvenation. Then I dive right back into it. Sometimes you have to retreat to go forward. That's what I do. I don't wait and let it linger, because then psychologically you form a mental block. Then you're really in trouble. You're only human, you know? And the human body and mind will take the attitude, I don't want to do this, I'm tired. And you have to keep that energy up. You are your own worst enemy. We all have the tendency to be lazy. So we give up and start making excuses for not being able to finish what we start. Dude, it's like gold. And so, okay, Stradivarius.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah,
Fiddle
yeah.
back. Fiddle, these amazing flame on it. I was like, whoa! Like, that, it clicked. Because you know Les Paul, the Les Paul standard. You know that flame, that's just this thing called flame on cool-ass guitars that looks like they're dipped in molasses. And then it occurred to me that that's what happened. And then I wound up following the lore. And like, I had played your Les Paul. You know, I started following into that lore. Like, I gotta get a legit Les Paul, not just like a copy, you know, like get one with the flame and stuff, and the like one piece mahogany neck, you know, maple top. I just knew at the time that's what I was like saving up for. I could never have gotten any this or the special if I had been with.
Yeah, because you would be tied up.
I'd be tied up, yeah, and it would be like looked down upon. And she like got mad at me when I got the banjo. And like we had this like talk, and I was like, "Yo, like this is one of like besides skateboarding, this is one of the only things that like gives me pleasure in life." And it's like if I don't, I know it's like an object, but if I,
It was never about the banjo.
yeah, it's not the banjo. It was $600, and it was a bonus I got from work. Like this is not something I didn't blow it on and or going to the movies. No, this thing is like forever. That's my thinking of like instruments, is that they have higher value.
When did you cop your Gibson?
Early 2017. You know, like in that December, I get my bonus. Kind of boom. Now I can pull this trigger. I got a bonus. My Christmas bonus. Okay, now we can do this. I drove from San Luis Obispo to Bakersfield. It was like where I was talking with the guy. You know, it's Craigslist, man. You're like, whatever. And there was good correspondence back and forth. I'd be like, yo, let me see that neck joint right here. You take like this, all like that. I was like, okay, let me see up at the head. Like,
he knows.
Show me that. Drove out to Bakersfield almost at the drop of a hat. That was like the height of instruments for me. Like, I have the height of I have the dopest dope. I have the apex of the vortex.
That's the show.
You know, I'm not thinking about music then as a profession at all. Like, it's just something that, like, I'm a warehouse worker, bro.
Where were you living at that time?
I was in San Luis Obispo, next to the train tracks.
Musically, what's the present frontier?
Well, we're working on the production of instruments, and we're also working on the production of actual music. I just know that I want to be able to play in any situation.
We have the capabilities, that's what I'm saying. We have the capabilities to do that. Build the physical products, all the lifestyle products, and the actual instruments. But in terms of like the musicianship and the mastery, there's something out there that you're playing with right now that isn't yours yet. Well, what is that? Piano, guitar, music, right? Lyrics?
Dude, all
is
that.
It
all right,
singing?
so all right,
is it
you
singing?
know what I was saying?
What
like
is it?
where
What is it?
what I wanted to go to?
Yeah, what is it?
It's like, dude,
Not
I want to
just
do soundtracks for movies, dude.
okay. There you
know
go,
what I mean? Like,
bro. There you go. You want to be
it's
able to.
always been a.
You want to be able to compose and arrange.
Yeah, and that's partly why I went to comp. And then I found out from professors, they're like, this may not be the route for you because either you need to be you're a performer, you know, and yeah, you can work yourself into that. You're the performer or you're a teacher. You teach these things to people who can't.
Those who can't do
teach
the high four notes, back and forth, arpeggiate those,
right.
but
versus
still the same chords, right?
Yeah.
And then capitalize on the bass part, just the bass four notes, using the same chords, not even touching the high notes, even though you're fingering them. Try it out. Like, we can expand on this chord progression riff and come up with all types of phrasings, all types of breakups, all types of breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna explore this chord progression, this riff idea, playing the exact same thing, same rhythm, same chords, only the top 4 strings, then only the bottom 4 strings, and then only the middle 4 strings. Especially if you're playing cowboy chords, open strings sound good. Capitalize on them. You know what I mean?
Nation thing, like professor was like, I've been reading, you know, the essays you turn in about, you know, like, she was like, I think you should get into journalism. Like, I think you should be a music writer.
Why are you sleeping on the thing that you do
best?
The most. The best.
Yeah.
Like, why do you sleep on that? That's why actually when I started hitting up Kev, I was like, get Kev, I think I'm gonna go all in. You have a nice Les Paul. I always thought that I was done with Les Pauls unless maybe I would copy yours. I was thinking you know how to set up everything. I was like, why can't I shred this guitar? You want to write an album? You want to have Timmy albums, right?
That's what we're in right now. We're doing that. Writing an album. And I think why my fascination, dude, with the fucking scales thing and like modes and stuff.
Those modes are just, it was an I think it's an observation over time. You know, but like in historical exercise, it's people just playing it differently. Like if you play the same exact shape but start the third
spot, you
know, on the third note, you get these sounds, and then you start categorizing them because someone else has more time. Because other humans have already been playing these notes and now they're observable, and now Thrasher can write about skateboarding and it has become the language of skateboarding.
Yeah, the terminology, established terminology.
You know? Start going in and out and stop making like super happy songs or super predictable sad songs, you know?
Going from the root to the relative minor. So predictable.
No one really let me play because, you know, I was kind of like, you know, but then Uncle Stan was like, I don't know, man, Jordan's like pretty good. Anything I ask him to play, like he just like would play it. That's how I told Daniel, I was like, this is how I got good at playing with other people.
Church experience.
Church. All it is. Yeah. Every week, you're just playing with other musicians. Sometimes it'd be piano. Sometimes there's no drums. Sometimes there's electric guitar.
Oh yeah. But then see, the presence changes though.
I know. There's some with my factory wiring.
Yeah.
That when I play guitar, I keep it at like 8. And I use it as an onboard boost. I'm only going to full 10 when I'm cutting the mix. Yeah. Because volume has some characteristics, you know?
Yeah. Dynamics.
When did you move back up to the Bay?
June 2017.
You got the Les Paul, and then shortly after we came back up here.
Yeah. And I got into that apartment on Pine. I had modded my stuff. I had played really nice stuff. And then I was curious because I had a Chinese 1-watt Wang's amp. Aesthetically, I made it a gold brick, you know, like mod it and stuff, and it's cool, but it's a green board, and you just wonder how these things work. And I got led to the 5F1. I was also I picked up a synth.
But my synth.
That's when you picked that up. When you got moved up
because
here.
I was listening to more electronic music and just being like, whoa, and then being with the whole digesting the dubstep stuff after the 2010s, digesting that and being like, yo, this is not some gimmick. Like, this is the future. I gotta understand that and figure that out. What is delay? What is decay? What is, you know?
What is attack?
Yeah. What are these things?
What is an envelope?
Yeah.
What is
an oscillating filter?
Yeah. What is the shape of the wave mean?
Totally.
That's when you told me to watch I Dream of Wires.
Yeah, because I was modular synth.
And that blew my mind because I was like, this is the music I grew up with. My aunt was like my first musical person who gave me CDs to listen to. And a lot of it was, you know, like late 1990s. A lot of it was like emo punk, pop punk, and a lot of it was like electronica.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, what? There's like
Devo and all the 80s.
That brought me into the world. I was like, wait, Happy Gilmore.
Oh man, Tuesday's Gone. Oh my god.
I had to ask my aunt, what song was this? And she's like, oh, that's Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner. And I was like, whoa, bro. 2017, you're still not thinking like, I want to be a musician.
Yeah.
But then you took music lessons
I took
at one point.
I did. In San Luis Obispo, I took lessons too. And it was just because you're playing with a band. It's all about practicality, right? Like, how do I play notes and just not know where the I am. You know, like.
Also, while you were up here, didn't you?
I did. I went to college in Marin.
What was that about?
Dude, I don't know.
What was that about?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. The epiphany, part of the epiphany, part of being like, I'm almost 30 years old. I need to start figuring out stuff because I can't do this. My back hurts. My shoulders hurt. I can't do this warehouse stuff forever. I'm good at it. Whatever, you know. I had been studying politics at USF in 2012. That came from skateboarding because we were getting skate parks, and I went to meetings with Gavin Newsom. I'm talking with these politicians and seeing like
SFSA.
Yeah, like I as a citizen can get stuff done. They taught me how to formulate an argument in school. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing here. So that you submit your document, and then Gavin Newsom comes in. Hey, pleased to meet you and everything. My secretary read everything. He knows what's up.
Here's my signature.
yeah, that's what I was like. Literally, like surrounded, like in the West Wing. And this is just the mayor. He's like surrounded by people hounding him. Like, I need this. You have this appointment. Here, talk to this guy real quick. Boom, dude. Politics bummed me out, dude.
Yeah, I think you were wanting to go into more of a social studies
history, totally. Yeah, I was like, music's always been this joyous thing. Okay, yeah, so I started thinking about music as something I could be trained as.
Musicians are not born. Musicians are trained.
And there's talent, yes, but you have to develop that talent.
Yeah.
Through this open world I'm about to ramble. Dry snow, sleet and rain. I'ma rob the morning railroad. Perhaps I'll die on that train. I'm going back to San Francisco. Place that I started from. If I'd known how bad you treat me, honey, I never have called.
I'm the Andy at work who sings all the time. I always hear a song and I get really excited in the grocery store when I hear a certain thing. To the root. It wasn't that. It was a different one. You know, like I trip out on that hard. In 2017, late 2017, I was like, what it really was too was like, I gotta talk to professors about my future. You know, like, is this something that's obtainable? Do I need to look at something else? Theory 101. The teacher is playing major and minor chords, and I looked around, and no one could tell it. It blew my mind. Like I'm almost like, that's an A minor. Like I can hear that one. That's a D minor. That just you played the C before. That's definitely a D. You know, like
as an adult, you're sitting in a music class. There's like aha moments that aren't just like musical aha moments because you're 30, right? They're like life aha moments.
Yeah. I was getting into modding guitars and humbuckers and stuff, and a question in class was like, when do you think the era of rock and roll started? And is it Elvis? You know, is it the 50s? You know, what is it? Is it the 30s or early electric blues? Mm-hmm. Is it that?
Yeah. And
people didn't know what I was talking about except for the teachers. I was adamant. I was like, in 1957, this thing was developed called the humbucker. That is when Maybelline was being written. And Roll Over Beethoven. But that 57, you know, the patent applied for pickup.
PAF.
Dude, that's when distortion really came out. And that Maybelline, I truly believe Maybelline is the first rock and roll song because it has the elements of the modern, the backbeat. Dude. If you got a backbeat, you can use it. And he's like a gangster. He's telling you what he's doing.
He's a gangster, dude.
Yeah.
Why can't you stay true?
Yeah, it's too good. So it's like reconciling the theory and the playing, but also the technology. 5F1 is the basis for Fender amps, and it comes from an old RCA electronics radio manual. All the Fender amps after that were built off of the 5F1, and that's why they go through the model numbers. They just added tone knobs or they added more pots.
What do you think he was going after when he was adding all those things?
Clean.
Though? He was going for a clean tone,
cleans.
but we don't think of it as clean.
Turn that shit up.
I don't think of.
But that's the birth of rock and roll. Do it every day. That's one thing I got out of Motown that was very productive. We got up early and worked late. We started by punching a clock. That sort of working regimen stayed with me over the years. I still get up quite early. That's what I do, write songs. It's a full day of work every day. Writing songs is a 24-hour job. You dream in it, eat it, You sleep in it. You are having a conversation with people and you're working. You find yourself listening for a certain thing that might strike a chord for a song. It's a constant work thing. It's my relaxation, my fun, my everything. Outside of my kids, of course.
I look like Daddy.
Yeah. Daddy has glasses, and you have goggles. So cool.
And protect my eyes.
One of those classes, it was like, what is pop music? What kind of music, what genres are there? You know, there's like classical, blues, and there's rap, and there's singing. And then it occurred to me, it's all pop music.
Yep.
And I left that academic mindset of like, I need to learn the modes, and I need to learn how this shit works.
Observation first.
Yeah, and it's like the tricks, the song remains the same.
Yup.
I was playing with you and like all throughout those years, and you're putting the pentatonic together. You know, here's the key C. Key D. Right? It's just like moving the spine.
Transposition.
It's the same shape. And
Visual congruency.
yeah.
They're like literally, you see this and be like, oh, that just goes here. That goes here. That goes here.
And then, all right.
And that's all from 3 note per string. If you know that this trades off. So guess what's in this position? You just keep that diagonal repeat. Eventually you'll start getting these five fret shapes. Right?
My second tour in San Luis Obispo, I was getting more into music now that I think about it, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I was like living basically in the garage of a unit with like 6 other dudes in the main house, you know? And I was like, Dad, I like miss the piano at home. I like need a piano. And he was like, all right, well, for your birthday, just find a piano. I'll pay for it, you know? So I found a console, a upright piano, going back through the Beethoven and stuff.
That's
I can still read music. Cool. What is this thing he's doing that is like why is that song so haunting, you know? And forcing a half step on the relative minor.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing, you know? And then, you know, playing with that band, they would come over and the piano's there and it's just practicality again. I can only do 3 keys, so let's play a song in G and D or C.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not ready for E yet. There's too many black keys. You know? There's too many.
That's why I trained myself for E first, because I was like, I play a lot of stuff on guitar in E.
Yeah, so I need that.
But now I can do the E, but I'm actually not that good with D, even though it's only 2 black keys.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Sometimes at work, because everything's so noisy, you'll hear like a Led Zeppelin song you've heard a million times, but then because frequencies are like mashed up in the world and you only pick up the ones that are cutting, you're like, whoa, that's like a whole nother world of a song.
Did you do classes when you went back down to San Luis Obispo the second time?
The second time I took private lessons.
Private lessons.
For piano and voice.
Oh, singing.
Yeah.
You actually took singing lessons.
Singing lessons.
Bro, I didn't even know that.
Oh, well.
I didn't even know. So there you go.
There you go.
So there you go. It's not just cartoons.
Find out there's so much more to me.
One day, Boo, we're gonna live in a palace and not have any worries at all.
Now I'm gonna ask, what did you learn about voice?
Talking about that in 2015, around there, I was taking these lessons. Went in there saying, hey, I might want to pursue music, but I'm just exploring. Like, I don't want to go sign up for school and do the same thing I did with politics, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Do I like basically? I'm like brutally honest. I'm like, do I have what it takes to be a musician? And she goes, yes. She goes, I didn't go to school, and I'd seen her play bars. She's like, it comes from playing. I just play around the Central Coast. And next thing you know, you're able to talk with people about it. And then you talk to someone who's learning how to play, and you can break it down because not too long ago, you were that person. I went in there like, this is what I want. I can read music. And she was like, okay, here's some stuff.
You wanted voice though. I'm really interested about this because I've never had vocal lessons.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
I wanted
awesome.
exercises.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
show me how I don't fuck my voice. Because I was like doing Rolling Stones, and if you're not...
You were throwing distortion on your voice though.
2 hours in, you're done. You can't sing no more. And that was the thing.
That's a good thing you didn't injure yourself.
I think of a while ago, we might have had it all.
But it all came together because then I viewed tabs as just another notation that you just have to figure out how it works, and then you can learn.
Yeah.
1, 2, 2 there means that.
Okay.
You know?
I was just...
Vinnie Moore.
Okay, yeah, Vinnie
Huge.
Moore, right? Vinnie Moore.
I went to the piano because you showed me.
Yeah,
Like
the stack.
Yes, you showed me that, and I went to the piano, and in C, just take that 1, 3, 5 and
go,
move it up, and I was like, "Whoa, minor, what?" And
It's
I
the
was
position of
blew
the
my
half
mind.
steps,
And
right?
then you start playing, and you're like, I hear 3 or 4 different songs out of the same progression, and you realize it's just the first step, the 4th step, and the 5th step in a lot of songs. Songwriting is like building guitars. You save wood for many years until it's ready. Until you want a piece of wood that, like, when you want a piece of wood like that, and you make an instrument. Or you may have the back and the sides, but you don't have the wood you want for the face of the guitar. The metaphor is beautiful because a song is like an instrument in that it can be played by somebody else, and it can lay around for years, and somebody can pick it up and play it again.
Wait, who was that? The last person?
This was Jackson Brown. Some part of it usually comes fairly quickly. A lot of times it's just a groove, or it has to do with the guitar or a piano. You write on a piano as well as guitar? Oh, I almost always write everything on both.
I'm really heavy on being able to at least understand what's going on by ear. I believe we're in a modern day, so it's like, if there's tabs available, why didn't you? Like, if you don't know how to do it...
Take a look. Maybe it puts you in the vein, and then you're like,
if
oh,
you
yeah,
didn't,
cool.
like, why not? Just be resourceful. Like, if you look at tabs, you're just like, okay, I can follow this. But it was never faster than my ear.
Yeah.
And connecting it. I learned Mary Had a Little Lamb on piano, and then I was like, wait, from that is the basis of learning any melody. It's just the order of the notes and how long you hold them for.
And that came from playing with other people.
Yeah.
Plans go out the frickin' window. You know, you're like, what's going on? And you're doing the like...
Yeah. We're just doing jazz, bro.
You did this one. You like that one.
Yep. I like to stack power chords because power chords are very powerful.
Because from going back to the lesson in San Luis Obispo, and she was like, you ever try to falsetto? I was like, no, I just never figured that I would just sound like Adam Sandler, you know? So she was like, well, you know, where you tread, you're like, is this funny or is this serious? And it's like the same thing with my
Is this funny?
with my reggae song, you know? You're like, you can't play this
serious?
seriously. Is this cynicism? Is this a joke? You always see this. You always see the Lana Del Rey on the stage when that's just the tip of the iceberg. All these other.
It's a production.
And it is like that on the, like, you look on the back of the record for Lana Del Rey. It's all split it up. It's not like a band. This person did specifically this part of the percussion on this song, and then someone else did just the 808. The credits for one song are like a fat paragraph.
Yeah. Vocal lessons though, that probably broke it down to you on the human as an instrument. Without the control and the rigidity, it's just air passing through material. Mm-hmm. Hoping that it makes sound. Hoping that it matches something. Then there's people who can just like, boop! You know?
Yeah.
They just like send laser notes. Like, they are the instrument.
The John Lennon thing, it's the same. What is that song again? Something about a working man. Working class hero. But I like doing this too. I like switching songs. How does that go? Recall.
Something to be.
Working class hero is something to play. Now it sounded like Hank 3. 3 shades of black.
Like, the lady that you went to take lessons from was like, I didn't go to school for this, bro. Like, I just do it. I just be doing it. Outside of the world shutting down in 2020. The factory ends at some point, and music is something that I I can do.
Yeah,
I'm willing to do.
You know, when you're in the, I don't know, it's like work psychosis. You're just set on going to work every day, and I had my eye on this promotion where I'd make really good money and pay off debt. I'd be vulnerable to failure because I didn't feel I had the tools or the time. Been studying, like, I really like the pop acts today, like Billie Eilish. I'm like, this stuff's coming out. I'm like, this is really good. Not that I'm trying to be like some famous big time like that, but I'm like, this is really good. You know, like,
Yeah.
I can't come up with that.
But you can, though.
In different ways, you know?
Yeah. Everyone lost a job. But not everyone can be all like, you know what? I lost a job, so I'm going to fall back on 20 years of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Join the workforce again. Like, I worked at Saga Music.
Oh, yeah. At least it'll be music, yeah.
And the thing that turned me off, too, is like, dude, I'm all about that down-home stuff. American-made, down-home, making it myself stuff. Saga, wonderful company. Good instruments, get people playing, you know? All imported. A lot of Amazon. Every day, $300,000 worth of business to Amazon. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm already trying to build guitars, and I'm already building amps. Like, it's just already happening. And coming from production and like how things work and following instructions, I was like, I know how this works, and I know it works, and it's good quality. You know, like, I know this works.
2013 to 2017.
I was heavy into this kind of progression. Maybe back down a bit. Why I got into the harmonic minor was I couldn't reconcile why I'm playing in the key of C, A minor,
Yeah.
and then E major. So A minor, right? Boom. F. Boom. E major, right?
Oh,
Boom.
yeah.
So A minor, right? Do-do-do.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. It's next door, but it's because of the harmonic minor scale. It's whatever. You're adding a black key, bro. When I look at you, I don't see an intelligent kid. I just see some f***ed up, scared, this little kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one can deny that. No one can ever know the depths of you. But you saw a painting of mine and you ripped my fucking life all apart.
There is a level where you
Playing
identify there's a level. I want to be on a level.
I never considered playing live music ever until 2013, and I started playing with friends, and then Alex had a band that played in the bars in San Luis Obispo, and I was like, fuck, man, I can do that. You know?
Once you start seeing
Peers.
Yeah,
your
peer
peers doing
schmucks flipping bucks.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Hey, yo, they were making money in
Yeah.
the bar, dude. It blew my mind.
Bruh.
And they weren't even writing, they were writing songs, but a lot of it was covers.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But you have to go through that. That's literally why I'm doing covers right now.
Yeah.
When there is a measure of quality that is established. And I'm not saying you need everyone who does Little Wing to be on like Bosco France.
But if you're a no-name, you need to have songs that people know.
Yeah, that's why I was sleeping on covers. I was like, I can play some of my favorite songs, but no one knows that.
And then aside into the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
At those lessons, because I was like, I want to do this professionally or something. What do? I gotta go to school, academic, what? She's like, it's not about getting the record deal anymore. It's about being on YouTube.
Yeah.
So people can see you and find you.
Yeah, you saw that happening, and you were like, bro, what's stopping me from flying free?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that hasn't left your ambition, right?
Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah.
That's what's up.
You're an orphan, right? It's okay. You think I know anything about you, or how hard your life's been, or anything about you? Because I read Oliver Twist. The point is, I can't learn anything about you that I can't read in some book. If you want to share who you are, and what encapsulates you, I'm in. I'm all the way in. It's your move, Chief. That's how I got into...
Dude.
That's how I got into improv.
That's how you got into improv.